Continuing now with our lead story, a conversation with Sarah Palin. Her new book, Going Rogue, will debut at #1, and it'll be a huge bestseller for HarperCollins. That's because Governor Palin has millions of admirers, despite the unprecedented media assault. I was in Minneapolis, as you probably know, watching your speech when you were nominated. It was a, you obviously lights out speech.
No, they say the difference between a hockey mom and a pit bull? Lipstick.
Did you know, after you gave that speech, that the media was going to hammer you? Did you have any idea that they were going to come after you the way they have?
You know what I thought they were going to come after me for? Getting a D in a college course 22 years ago. That was the big controversy in my little world. That was the skeleton in my closet that crap.
So
once
once
the media finds that out, then it's going to be a...
So you didn't know they were going to come after you?
No, and neither did the campaign. Had the campaign known, then they would have had, practically speaking, things like a binder full of information about me.
Can I say something bold and fresh?
Please.
You should have known. You are a pro-life woman, a pro-gun woman. You didn't think the elite media in New York and D.C. was going to put a target on your forehead?
Not to the extent that they did. No, I didn't anticipate that, and evidently those running the campaign didn't anticipate it either. But, you know, they did what they did, but I'm here where I am today, meaning we plowed through a lot of that stuff that they threw our way, a lot of the darts and the arrows thrown our way. I'm still standing, and I'm here with Bill O'Reilly. I think that's a bit of a victory.
Oh, I don't know about that. Okay, so you and the campaign were unprepared for the vitriol. See, I knew. When I watched you on that stage, I said, here's a regular person, which I think you are. I don't know you that well, but I think you're a regular person. Here's a regular person, now could be vice president of the United States. Those pinheads back in New York and D.C., they're not going to go for you, primarily because of the pro-life stuff.
How would we have known, though, that to the extent that it would have been made manifest their disdain for the normal American? And I am a normal American, and when it comes to my pro-life views, there are more Americans today saying that they understand the sanctity of life and that they are pro-life than they are pro-abortion for the first time in decades, I believe it is.
Okay. The latest poll has you with a 23% favorable. 37% don't know. You do the math, okay, and you're up at 60% of people who could like you. You are the biggest threat because you are a star, media star, whereas you're the only Republican. There aren't any other Republicans who are media stars but you. Now, that's why they're attacking you so vehemently. Do you know that?
I don't know why they're attacking me.
You're a threat.
Well, okay, whatever. I do know, though, that you are spot on when you say perhaps they fear, what you're suggesting is a voice being heard that's coming from the heartland of America. And I say that figuratively and literally.
You're a populist.
A populist, yeah.
Do you know what they're calling you now?
Yeah.
Evita.
Well,
Ava Perón. That's who they're calling you now.
Well, I don't know, but the liberal media is going to do what they do. And more Americans, though, are getting disgusted with what they're doing. And not just because of any kind of personal or political attack on me. They're just saying, you know what, enough is enough. There is no longer a mainstream media that can be trusted to be objective and fair and balanced.
I agree.
People are getting their information.
That's why Fox does so well.
Exactly.
What was the worst personal attack on you?
I think the attacks that had to do with the suggestions that Trigg should never have been allowed to be born, of course.
That a Down syndrome baby should have been aborted.
Yes, that was pretty hurtful, pretty harmful. But the personal attacks there too, you know, that's something that we've dealt with and we've plowed through it, and then we moved on. There were some practical things, though, that took place within the campaign that I wrote about in the book that were extremely disconcerting and disruptive in the campaign, like my personal emails being hacked into and then being broadcast via media outlets.
It's lucky you didn't say anything scandalous.
Well, I know they were looking for it, though.
Yeah,
I mean, it was like a modern time break-in of a campaign headquarters, because electronically that is my campaign headquarters.
That's Watergate light.
Yeah.
David Letterman Were you really mad that he made those jokes?
I reacted, again, my reaction to a reporter who asked me about the joke that he made
But
about,
in hindsight.
about my 14-year-old daughter being impregnated by a baseball player. And my reaction was, oh, I thought that it was atrocious. It wasn't funny. And then from there, I think the spin kind of was that I was absolutely outraged. It gave me an opportunity to say that that kind of humor is pretty outrageous. It was a degrading comment about a young woman, and I would hope that people really start really rising up and deciding it's not acceptable.
If Letterman invited you on and plugged the book, would you go?
No, I don't think I would want to boost his ratings and participate in that, no.
Okay, interesting. Oprah asked you about Levi Johnston.
Will he be invited to Thanksgiving dinner?
Why do you answer? I wouldn't answer questions about him if I were
Because
you.
you guys ask, and I don't know, give me advice. How do you pivot away from questions about a character who is saying things that aren't necessarily true and certainly
Right.
aren't very nice about, again, one of my children and my family?
I would just say he's the father of my grandchild, and I want a very loving relationship in our family, but I'm not going to say anything more.
I will say that, but at the same time, after a year of getting clobbered by the media, capitalizing on people who will make things up, there does come a time in any mama's heart and gut where they're going to say, no, 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 you're picking on my kids, you're picking on my family, I'm going to set the record straight. My guttural instinct is kind of like a mama grizzly bear. You're touching my cubs, you're touching my kids, I'm going to respond, and I'm going to set the record straight.
And tomorrow, the governor sets the record straight on policy, Iran, Afghanistan, healthcare, a challenging interview Friday night.